Good afternoon. I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory, and today is a First Alert weather day, but I want to make sure that we're clear that the risk of severe weather today is very low. This is primarily for disruptive weather rather than severe weather. Sometimes when we have First Alert weather days, it is because there's a threat of major severe weather, but that's not the case today. This is more to just draw your attention to the fact that there's a lot going on tonight, a lot of outdoor activities. Many people are on their final day of school. We've got a lot of graduations Friday after 5, all kinds of things going on outdoors today, and at the very least, the weather will likely be disruptive. Scattered rain is likely. There is a very isolated chance we could get some storms, maybe even a strong to severe storm. And with that rain, there's also a minor flooding risk. So moving forward with the rest of the holiday weekend, we also still have some rain in the forecast. No more alert days after today, but there is still a very isolated chance of rain Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It'll also be just a few degrees warmer with highs in the upper 70s to maybe low 80s through Memorial Day weekend. And we'll talk more about those rain chances as well. But right now, the main focus is on how the rain moving in currently is going to impact plans over the next few hours. You can see this large area of rain and even some thunderstorms pushing in from the southwest, spreading to the northeast. Now they are getting some lightning and some small hail down around Bowling Green. That's expected to continue off to the northeast though, and will most likely miss most of the tri-state. So this will primarily be just rain, but there is the potential for some thunderstorms as well. And again, this would be disruptive and possibly even dangerous if you're outside, especially if there's lightning. Right now we have that rain spreading across much of southern Illinois and western Kentucky, just starting to push into Evansville now. Again, those stronger storms and lightning are down closer to Bowling Green, might clip part of Ohio County, but I think most of us are probably going to dodge those thunderstorms. But we will continue to see this rain spreading to the north across the tri-state over the next couple of hours. So rain seems likely through this afternoon, and that rain will stick with us even into this evening, probably up through about 7 o'clock or so. After that, the rain will start to taper off and become more isolated, but there's still a chance of rain even as we get into the overnight hours. So really through this afternoon and evening is our best chance of rain, maybe even some heavy rain and thunderstorms. Then it becomes much more isolated, but a stray shower still possible through the overnight hours and even into Saturday. Much of Saturday I think will end up being dry, but we could catch a stray shower at some point in the day. Toward the end of the day, Saturday, like 5, 6 o'clock, we might even get a few brief peaks of sunshine, but it won't last very long. We cloud right back up Saturday night into Sunday morning. And Sunday, again, not quite as dry as Saturday, but still much of the day on Sunday I think will be dry. Our rain chances are very, very spotty. Just a few showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, but a lot of dry time in the mix as well this whole weekend. As for our severe weather threat, most of us are outlooked for just general run-of-the-mill rain and a few thunderstorms. To the southeast, as you get into Muhlenberg and Ohio counties, you're right at the cusp of this level 1 risk for an isolated strong to severe storm. That level 1 threat stretches then to the east through central Kentucky and to the south, covering much of the state of Tennessee and all the way down into parts of South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. I mean, this goes almost all the way to the Gulf Coast here. So we're way on the far corner of this severe weather threat, and it's a very isolated threat, but it is possible we could get a few rumbles of thunder or maybe even a severe thunderstorm, mainly in Ohio and Muhlenberg counties. But again, overall, our risk of severe weather today is very low. This alert is mainly to draw your attention to the fact that there's a lot happening tonight, and there's a good chance that the weather will be disruptive to a lot of those plans, as pretty much everybody is outlooked for widespread rain, maybe even some heavy rain and localized flooding. So just be aware of that. Checking in on the comments here. Good afternoon, Cheyenne, Brenda. Jeff asking about the Indy 500. They're a little farther north, so they've got a better chance of staying dry, but I still wouldn't rule out a stray shower. As for our temperatures right now, most of us are sitting in the mid to upper 60s. It's 66 in Evansville, 67 in Owensboro. Don't expect any major changes as we go through the rest of the evening. Like I said, I know we've got a lot of graduations going on tonight. There is a really good chance of rain from about 4 to 7 o'clock or so, as a lot of those graduations would be getting started. And then as we go through the rest of the evening into the overnight hours from about 8, 9 o'clock, that rain really starts to become much more isolated. Temperatures aren't going much of anywhere though. We just kind of hold steady in the mid to upper 60s through the rest of this evening and into the night tonight. Even overnight we hold steady in the 60s, only dropping a few more degrees into the lower 60s overnight tonight with those very spotty rain chances. Tomorrow, as I said, we may catch a stray shower. Looks like the better chance would be in the morning. We might get a few peaks of sun later in the afternoon and evening, but most of the day will probably be mostly cloudy but dry. You could catch a peak of sun, you could catch a stray shower. Most of the day though will be mostly cloudy and dry. It will be a little warmer as we won't have the rain to cool us down, and our wind direction changes also, so we start to bring warmer air in from the southwest. That'll push our temperatures into the upper 70s on Saturday. Then we'll hold steady in the upper 70s to low 80s through the start of next week, and might even climb into the low to mid 80s by the middle of next week. One thing I want to point out is today is far from our only chance of rain. I mentioned, widespread rain is likely here over the next few hours. Then we've got these just kind of isolated hit or miss rain chances Saturday and Sunday, but we continue to see some isolated to scattered rain chances into Memorial Day and even through the middle of next week before we finally start to dry things out. So the reason today is our best chance of rain is because we have this low pressure system swinging through the tri-state today. So that's bringing that widespread rain, that threat of some heavy rain and thunderstorms. But by tomorrow, that'll start to push off to our north. This is where, though, that rain will actually be headed up toward Indy. I think it'll be pretty early in the day up that way, though. What's interesting is this stationary front kind of lags behind that low pressure system. So then as we get into the day on Saturday, again, I wouldn't be shocked if they get a little rain up there for the Indy 500 this weekend, but that stationary front is going to be draped down to the south and then off to the west here. And so as long as it is lingering over our region, we will continue to see these very hit or miss rain chances just kind of ebbing and flowing over the tri-state. And so we may get a brief break from the rain on Saturday, but then we continue to see, again, just isolated chances on Sunday because that stationary front is still hanging around. Now, as we get into Monday, it seems like that front will start to dip to the south. I think Memorial Day may start dry if you have plans that morning. I know there's a lot of different memorial services and things happening on Memorial Day, flag ceremonies and things like that. Early in the morning, we might be dry, but then that stationary front is expected to lift back to the north, and with it, it kicks our rain chances back up toward the end of the day on Monday. And then as it remains just kind of parked over our region, we continue to see scattered rain in the forecast Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. And then it starts to push to the south, and that rain starts to move out then as we get into Friday of next week. So looking at the 7-day forecast, rain is likely this evening. So if you've got plans to go to Friday after 5, you've got graduations, graduation parties, whatever it might be happening this evening, just know there's a good chance of rain from about now till 7 o'clock. After that, it starts to become a little more isolated, but there's still a chance. Saturday and Sunday this weekend, a lot of the day will probably be dry, but there is an isolated chance of rain both days. Better shot of staying dry is Saturday, but even then you could catch a stray shower. Sunday's rain, again, looks like very isolated, but a shower or even a thunderstorm may still be possible. Monday, I think we'll start out dry, but then we see those rain chances, again, just a scattered chance picking back up toward the end of the day. And then we continue to see scattered rain and maybe a few thunderstorms through the middle of next week. High temperatures will be in the upper 70s tomorrow, then upper 70s to low 80s Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, then low to maybe mid 80s as we go through the middle of next week. I do think that rain will finally start to push to the south then as we get to next weekend. So Friday, it's looking like that rain may finally start to move out, but this has been a stubborn stationary front. I can't rule out the possibility it'll double back on us, but right now looks like next Friday will probably be dry. Checking in on what the month of May has brought us so far, it was very cool to start, then warm through the middle. Then we had that cold front move through beginning of this week, and it's been kind of cool and cloudy ever since. That cold front, though, brought us some very beneficial rain. We got a lot of rain Monday and then Tuesday into Wednesday of this past week. Yesterday was dry. We've got some rain moving in right now, but I haven't checked the rain gauge to see how much yet. On the whole, we have really made up for the shortfall that we were running up to this point, but we're still about a ½ inch short of where we should be so far for the month of May. Many of us may make up that shortfall as the rain moves through this evening. On the year as a whole, we're still running 5-6 inches short of where we should be, because even though we've had a lot of rain this week to kind of make up for our shortcomings in May, doesn't change the fact that we had a very warm, very dry April. The whole second half of March was very dry. February and January were both below average precipitation, so it's just been kind of a dry year so far. But the rain that we have had recently is all making its way down into the rivers. So I did want to give you a river update. They are on the rise. Not expected to reach flood levels along the Ohio River, but you'll notice that several of these locations are expected to crest middle to end of next week. So the river will be on the rise here over the next few days. Moving north to some of the smaller rivers here, the White and the Wabash and the Little Wabash. Many of these already at flood stage. We've got minor flooding in Hazleton and Petersburg, and still expected to rise through the weekend. And then Mount Carmel, New Harmony, and Carmi all expected to crest at minor flood stage early next week, as all of the rain we already saw this week and are still getting today kind of works its way down through the different ditches and creeks and makes its way into those rivers. In western Kentucky, the Green River has been very, very low here recently, which is an interesting contrast because these are the areas that saw such terrible flooding last spring. And then now here we are this May, the rivers are getting very, very low there. So we are still going to see them climb a couple feet and peak sometime early next week, but not going to get anywhere close to flood stage in western Kentucky. If you need to get out and mow your grass, today is not the day for you. It is raining already in many locations. If it's not raining where you are, probably will be within the hour, and then it's going to rain through the rest of the evening. So not getting any yard work done today. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, though, like I said, there's a chance of rain, but it's isolated. So just check the radar, and as long as you time it right, you should be able to dodge the rain and get your mowing done. But you may have to just be mindful of checking the radar first before you head out. As for our temperatures and our precipitation, pretty steady through this week, right? We're just kind of stuck in this very stagnant weather pattern with that stationary front just kind of wobbling back and forth over the tri-state, which means our skies stay mostly cloudy. We've got at least a chance of isolated to scattered rain every day, and our temperatures don't change a whole lot either. We just kind of range in the upper 70s to low 80s for most of the next 7 days. Beyond that, as we look ahead to next weekend, it does seem like our temperatures will be near to maybe slightly above average. We're expecting warmer weather to our north, cooler weather to our south, and the tri-state will be caught in between. The precipitation outlook also shows we do start to dry out by next weekend. So that wet weather that's going to be just kind of oscillating across the tri-state this week finally pushes to the south by next weekend. I mentioned I think Friday will probably already be dry and then stay dry into next weekend, with some warm, dry weather to our north and cool, wet weather to our south. We will be caught kind of in the middle, but I think overall the warmer and drier weather will probably win out for us next weekend. It's a shame we don't have that kind of weather for Memorial Day weekend. I know a lot of people do have outdoor plans this weekend. Hopefully you can dodge the rain, but I know a lot of people, you know, they hit the water, they go boating, the pools open up, and it just doesn't seem like we're going to have ideal weather for any of those kinds of activities. But hopefully you can dodge the rain and still do what you need to do this weekend. Good afternoon, Laura and Jeff and Karen, Nina, Ann, Missy. Wanting some sunshine, Nina. I relate. Fortunately, I don't really have much in the forecast for you. Like I said, we might get a peak of sun late in the day on Saturday. Wouldn't rule out a few peaks of sun toward the middle and end of next week, but overall, we're going to be stuck under mostly cloudy skies through the next few days. So hopefully by next weekend, we'll finally get some sunshine in here for you. All right, if there are no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Again, here's one more look at that 7-day forecast. Meteorologist Michael Fecca will have an updated look at your forecast on 14 News tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10, and he'll do another streaming show here tonight at 9. By that time, though, I think the alert day will probably be winding down because, again, it's primarily for this rain disrupting so many plans here just over the next few hours, Friday after 5 and graduations and the like. So moving forward, the rest of the holiday weekend does look drier, but still not completely dry. So keep an eye on that radar. Use your 14 First Alert app to check the radar this weekend before you head out on any plans, because there is that isolated chance of showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms through Saturday, Sunday, and Memorial Day on Monday as well. So not a total washout, but we are going to have to dodge some rain to get through our weekend and salvage our plans here. All right. With that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And again, Michael will have your forecast on 14 News tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10, another streaming show here tonight at 9. So I hope you'll join him for that then. And hopefully everyone manages to stay dry for their graduations and plans here this evening. But if you are headed out, make sure you take your rain jacket because you're probably going to get wet. All right, everybody have a good Memorial Day weekend.